Russell Ingall, Jason Barbagallo and Paul Radicic in the thick of things. On the last corner, Paul Radicic, the big loser in that one. Ingall and Barbagallo moving themselves one further forward. Let's check the results at the end of race one for you. The man at the end of it, Craig Lowndes and Mark Schaefer, HRT 1-2. Great job by Garth Tander, the local boy, finishing in third place. A couple of interesting points for you as well. Craig Baird, John Bow, and of course John Faulkner, who you can see highlighted there, finished well down the grid. Mark Osler is with our race one winner.
10 wins from 10 starts at Barbagallo Raceway. Your teammate out-qualified you, but you show you are still the force to be reckoned with in race trim.
Thanks, Mark. I guess it come down to the start, really, the race. We were tag teaming each other. We were virtually nose to tail the whole race. When that safety car period came out, it was very interesting. Obviously, tyres have started to go away. I think hopefully everyone else had as well. So we sort of just pulled that little gap again and just sort of held that. But really, there's nothing between our two cars.
How are the tyres hanging in there? You've got another 2 heats to go.
Yeah, we've already got another four tyres, one more set to come. It's really like the car is going very well. It's using the tyres, but it has been a hot day.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Mark.
Here is the latest in the gallery of V8 Supercar shots. Russell Ingall at Phillip Island. It's beautifully framed and autographed, of course, by the enforcer. Just $195 plus postage and handling. Don't delay. Get on the phone right now and dial the number on the bottom of your screen for the fabulous Castrol Commodore. Let's check out the grid for you as they line up for the second race today. 20 laps the distance. Craig Lowndes and Mark Schaefer on the front row. Row 2, Garth Tander and Russell Ingall.
Jason Barbagallo and Paul Radicic start out of row 3. Mark Larkham, another Ford of Tony Longhurst. They'll start out of 4.
We go back to row 5. Stephen Johnson alongside Paul Morris. And it's Cameron McLean and the Bathurst winner, Greg Murphy.
Larry Perkins and Stephen Richard alongside Paul Wheel and Glenn Seaton way back there in 16.
Steve Ellery and Dougal McDougall on row 9. Row 10, Steve Reed and Mark Poole.
Neil Crompton having real problems with the setup on that car. Cameron McConville, Brad Jones also struggling to set up on the Falcon. And Rodney Forbes back there in 24th position.
We go back to row 13. Anthony Tratt in the Toll Racing Falcon alongside Thomas Mazira. Then it's Mick Donoher and Craig Baird.
Trevor Ashby and John Faulkner. Paul Romano and John Bow after those power steering dramas in Heat 1. He's back for Heat 2.
So that's how they line up for the second race of the day. Dick Johnson, Holden dominating at the moment. Can the Ford boys get up there?
Well, obviously a lot of the guys have changed their setup for today, so it'll be very interesting to see. But there's a huge advantage around this racetrack starting from the front row, and the HRT have dominated the front row here for some time.
Yeah, can anyone stop them? It really is their favourite playground. If someone is, this is probably one of the likely candidates, Paul Radicic. Johnson Racing making a few changes overnight. Looked very good in the warm-up this morning. So can Paul Radicic turn the tables on Holden Racing Team? But they've got this critical front row starting position. John Bow. Some power steering problems yesterday in the Caterpillar Ford. Great disappointment for the team. They fixed that overnight. He's going to start from way down the back of the grid. He's got a lot of work to do today.
Word from pit lane is that track temperature today is cooler than it was yesterday, and there's a bit of a cool breeze about as well, so will be interesting to see just how well things go. We saw Mark Larkham dropping back through the field yesterday, qualified very well in the Mitre 10 Falcon, but as the back tyre got a little too hot, he dropped back through the field. Look at that, an all Holden Racing Team front row. 10 times Craig Lowndes has entered a Shell Championship race here, and 10 times he has walked away a winner, undefeated in V8 Supercar terms at Barbagallo Raceway. Waiting for a green flag at the back of the field. Officials just pushing one of the cars back into position. Looks like possibly Trevor Ashby. And then we'll be underway and set for a start. Get ready, folks, here at Barbagallo. Will it be Lowndes? Will it be Scape? Lowndes got the upper hand in race 1. Who is it in race 2? Red lights ablaze. An all-red HRT front row. We're away. Lowndes gets another blinding start. So too Mark Scape. Look at the enforcer. Russell Ingall blinding off the start line and gets past Garth Tander, who's getting chased by his own teammate, Jason Barbagallo.
Well, we all hold our breath as this big field funnels through the first turn. 32 cars in all. They're going to sort themselves out. That great aerial shot shows it. Side by side as they come up through the S's the first time around. But looks like another relatively clean start as they swing around up the hill for the first time. Looks as though there was a bit of contact between the teammates, Jason Barbagallo and Garth Tander. Tander got the upper hand as they came through Shell Corner. What can Mark Scape do about this, Dick Johnson? He got beaten second time off the start. Craig Lowndes, clean pair of heels.
Well, the secret of these 20-minute races is to get a very, very clean start. And if you get fresh air in front of you, the engines work better because the air's cooler. And you can just settle down and do it at your own speed.
The field stream down the hill. Look at them, a big move here by Mark Poole on one of the Optus entries. I think you'll find that was Steve Reed at the back of the pack. The Samco Commodore of Paul Romano. Look at Scaife trying to put the pressure on Lowndes, and look at this, Paul Morris with the Caltex Havilene Falcon all over the back of him. Tony Longhurst chasing Morris.
Morris finds himself in the top 10 the first time around the order as Lowndes, Scaife, Ingle, Tander, Barbagallo, Radicic, Larkham, Johnson, Paul Morris up there in 9th position, and Tony Longhurst in the Havilene Ford rounds out the top 10. Behind him, Greg Murphy in the Kmart machine, Cameron McLean, Stephen Richards, Glenn Seaton, Wheel, Perkins, Ellery McDougall, Reed back there too, and Mark Poole rounds out the top 20.
Tony Longhurst fired up about his association this season with Stone Brothers Racing. He exits Colin Corner for the run up the hill, chasing Paul Morris in the Big Kev Racing Commodore. Morris has been in the thick of things all week, and look at this, Longhurst all over the back of him now. Morris playing defensive as they head towards the start-finish straight.
Yeah, for a guy so new to the scene in his own car and his own team, he's quite impressive speed here as Tony Longhurst has a sniff up the inside. He's going to go hard under brakes, side by side as they break into the turn, and Longhurst has got him. Morris might be hung out to dry.
He's going to get hung out to dry, right?
Yep. Pulls it back on the racing line, manages to shut out the Kmart Commodore.
It's a pretty good effort by Morris, really, because he's in some fairly good company there, I can tell you.
Yep, it really is quite an impressive debut speed-wise.
Well, if he can get his head round racing rather than running into people, I think he'll do a great job.
There's your order, unchanged. Craig Lowndes at the front of the field from Scaife, Ingle, Tander. Look at Murphy having a look at Paul Morris here. Down into Colm Corner. Morris shuts the door.
Yeah, I was talking to the Kmart team yesterday. They were in all sorts of bother. They didn't quite know which way they were going to go and set up. They made some changes to the car last night. Look how close Scaife is behind his teammate. He couldn't get past Lowndes in the first heat yesterday afternoon. Let's see if he can turn the tables this morning. But Russell Ingle right up with the Holden Racing Team duo in this one.
In the background too, you could see very briefly the Gary Rogers Motorsport teammates battling away. Paul Radicic has managed to get the upper hand on Jason Barbagallo. Tander sits at the moment in 4th place. Radicic now up to 5th.
John Bowe pushing hard in the cat forward, but he's got a lot of work ahead of him.
He's got plenty of work ahead of him. I've been there, I know what that's like. It's terrible.
Here's Craig Lowndes, the man of the moment. Perfect record at Bonnaroo.
He's giving it everything too.
He really is pushing hard. Scaife will be applying the pressure too.
I think Mark's really looking forward to having a bit of a win here, because he needs to sort of grab a few more points.
Yep. We saw what happened last year when Lowndes got that big win at the Adelaide 500. Really did destroy Scaife's chances. This year the points score maybe a little bit more equitable. Looking at the back of Paul Radicic's car, Shell Helix camera takes you right into the heart of the action. He's got Garth Tander up behind him, but Jason Barbagallo, I should say. So the Valvoline team putting the squeeze on the Shell Ford, and once again Paul Radicic, the fastest of the Falcons.
Not too far in the background there also Mark Larkham and Stephen Johnson. This is what's happening at the front of the field. Craig Lowndes from Mark Scaife. Russell Ingle sits in 3rd place. This enthralling battle continues for 4th. Garth Tander holding out the hard-charging Paul Radicic, and Jason Barbagallo coming along for the ride as well.
In-car camera in the meat in the Valvoline Cummins sandwich. The Be Clear and simple onboard telemetry. Still riding with Paul Radicic. Look at the speed on the right-hand side of your screen. Almost 250 kilometres an hour when they brake hard for this corner onto pit straight. Looks like hard work out there, Dick Johnson.
Well, it certainly is, and the temperature that inside these cars is quite alarming at times. It gets up over 60 degrees C, so it's like exercising in a sauna. Let a few laps go by and see what happens with the tyres, because even though it's cooler today, the tyres still really get a hard workout around here.
And a lot of the teams have been saying, particularly that left rear tyre.
Well, the left rear tyre through this particular corner here, which is Cold Corner coming up onto the main straight, the tyre is alone for such a long time with your foot flat on the floor.
And there's a lot of pressure now on Radicic from Barbagallo in car 35. He's right up behind the tail of the Shell Ford. There's Larkham sitting in behind him, and Stephen Johnson Good strong performance from Junior this weekend. He's up there in 8th position. Just shadowing his teammate who's a few positions up.
We can see that Jason Barbagallo is having a crack at Paul Radicic, and he dives down the inside. We go on board with Paul Radicic, and Barks gets through. So the Gary Rogers, Valvoline Cummins Commodore of Jason Barbagallo on fire at the moment. He has moved himself past Radicic into 5th place, right in behind his teammate Garth Tander.
Well, it's a very important race for Jason Barbagallo. Keep in mind he hasn't got any points after Phillip Island. Wasn't a good way to start the championship. He qualified 12th here last year and finished 19th. This is a much better result for the Valvoline Cummins driver this weekend if he can hold it all together. But now Radicic in behind. Mark Larkham maybe closing the gap a little bit to the back of the Shell Ford. So the order now, Lowndes, Scape, 1.6 seconds the gap to Ingle. Tander, Radicic and Barbagallo. Of course, that great scrap there, but Barbagallo got him last time around. Mark Larkham.
Look at Paul Radicic having a crack here. Barbagallo got very taily on the entry to the start-finish straight. Radicic all over the back of him can sense an opportunity.
You've only got to make a very, very small mistake here.
Well, after taking Radicic, he's not getting away from him. Come up through the S's. Let's have a look at the Shell Helix replay.
This is a look at the passing manoeuvre that Barbagallo made on Radicic.
Yes, well, he's gone over on the right-hand side of the circuit, and Paul, being the gentleman he is, didn't push him off the road.
He gave him racing room, but he's right back on the bumper. Barbagallo has not been able to pull away from the Shell Helix Ford the last time around, and a very competitive run from the Mitre 10 Falcon of Larkham. He qualified well, and he's continuing that form in the race. The Mitre 10 Ford looking strong.
Radicic, the best of the Falcons on the circuit at the moment, in 6th place.
I think Barbagallo's got problems.
Barbagallo has dropped a couple of positions. They were looking for him, but he's actually gone back a couple.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether he made a mistake or whether he's got a...
Well, you've only got to make a small mistake in this market, and you get shuffled down the back of the pack so quickly.
Stephen Johnson in the background there. We saw Dick under a bit of pressure from Tony Longhurst in the Caltex Haviland Falcon. You ride aboard the Mitre 10 Falcon with Mark Larkham, who is in behind Paul Radicic at the moment. 5th and 6th place respectively. There's Radicic out the front. And we look back, there is Jason Barbagallo, who's had some sort of dilemma and is now trying to find his way back forward.
It doesn't look like he's slowed down too much, but he just made a slight little mistake there to allow those two cars to get back in front of him.
I reckon he would have made a mistake here on this corner, and a few cars have gone past him up the straight.
Yep. So full throttle up the hill, 250 kilometres an hour, flatten 6 gear as they come over the top. They break hard for pit straight once again. So Larkham now with his mirrors full of the Valvoline Cummins machine. Stephen Johnson in behind him in the second of the Shell Fords. And Paul Morris has dropped back in the order. Tony Longhurst is on a real charge. He now fills out the top 10.
Morris has dropped back probably under the weight of Kev, I think.
Stephen Johnson remains under pressure from Tony Longhurst. We are at half race distance, folks, lap 10 of 20. And the fastest man on the circuit last time around, Paul Radicic, a 58.73. So the Shell Helix Ford certainly going very, very well at the moment. So let's recap them for you, folks, as they stand here at Barbagallo at the moment. Craig Lowndes from Mark Scape, Russell Ingle and Garth Tander. Paul Radicic doing great things, best of the Fords at the moment. Then it's Larkham, Barbagallo, and Stephen Johnson rounds out the top 8. Longhurst, Morris, Murphy, McLean, Wheel, Perkins, Ellery and McDougall. And Lowndes go on and win another one. Find out right after this. The Monroe safety car continues to make its way around the circuit during the break. This is what happened. Cameron McConville went off in the Auto Pro Commodore. That's just down on the entry to the start-finish straight. Dick, just looks like a driver error.
Just unfortunately got the back wheels locked up going into the turn, coming onto the main straight.
Here we go again. We are racing, folks. Craig Lowndes leads the field from his teammate Mark Scape, but the gap to everyone else is now bunched up nice and close. Russell Ingle in 3rd, Tander in 4th. First to the Fords is Paul Radicic.
I think Russell Ingle will be very encouraged by the performance of his car in this second heat. Those Holden Racing Team cars only opened up a 1.5 second gap over him before the safety car came out, so the performance of the Castrol car here far more impressive than we've seen the previous weekend.
It certainly is, and it's amazing to see there's about 3 or 4 Commodores up the front, and then there's a string of Fords.
So Lowndes leads the field down into Kolb Corner. Race one yesterday. Just races we've seen him do so many times in the past, and his teammate Mark Scaife, up until that safety car period, really had thrown a great deal at him, but Ingle now has dropped out of the clutches of this leading duo.
Where do you think the Commodores have the advantage around this track, Dick? They're so strong here, particularly the Mobile Holton Racing team.
Well, it certainly is, and obviously a lot of these guys have been utilising Bridgestone tyres for some time, and to understand a tyre is a huge plus. But around this track, it's, you know, you can change tyres and it makes an enormous difference to the car.
Yep.
Russell Ingle, 2 times a winner at Mount Panorama and a bridesmaid in the Shell Championship Series on several occasions. Wants to turn it around in 2000. Yesterday, a good start to things, but I'll tell you what, not the best of starts at Phillip Island.
He's got to do it too, because Phillip Island was a shocker. He's 31st in the championship. He's got no points from the island. This round last year, he qualified 13th and got 11th overall. So things have started much better for the Enforcer, and he has to start getting those points together, because this championship is so tight and so competitive, you can't afford to drop the points.
Well, Ingle got a 4th yesterday, in behind Garth Tander, who finished 3rd in the HRT Duo 1 and 2. Look at the field as they stream down the hill. Then it's hard on the brakes for the right-hander, and onto the start-finish straight. This is a real freight train in behind Mark Larkham, Barbagallo, Stephen Johnson's up there, so too Tony Longhurst and Paul Morris tagging on to the back of the pack. Don't forget, of course, the Clipsal 500 coming up on the streets of Adelaide early in April. What a sensational event that was last year, and the organisers are tipping it to be even bigger and better in 2000.
Well, it's a great battle here behind Mark Larkham. Larkham now sitting in 6th position, so this is effectively the battle for 6th, and involves a number of cars. Larkham, Barbagallo, Steve Johnson, Tony Longhurst, Paul Morris climbing onto the back as well.